Alright, so up to this point you should have your home page done, the members, the groups, and the profile page. Now we're going to implement the photos page, and it's going to be a little more in depth than the other pages because we're going to be using Bootstrap's Modal, which is basically a lightbox or a pop-up. We want our images to be able to pop up when we click on them, and we're also going to use a Jquery plugin, which you can get at this page here if you want to go to this URL. It's a lightbox for Bootstrap 3, utilizes Bootstrap's Modal plugin to implement a lightbox gallery. And it's very easy to use. You have the code right here, but we'll get to that after. Let's go ahead and just create the page first. Alright, so we want to create a new document and call it photos.html, and we'll open that up with the text editor. And I also want to open up let's use we'll use the groups page because we need to copy basically the base template, so it's an easy page to copy. So we'll just grab that, paste it in there, close the groups page, and then we'll change the title. And let's see. Actually, you know what? We haven't been changing the active tab. So in the nav bar, you have a class active, which is on the home link. We want to just cut that, and we want to put that on the photos. And you want to do that with the rest of your pages as well, if you haven't already. So what we're going to do is get rid of everything in the 8-column div here. So it ends here, so I'm going to just delete everything in between. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a heading. So h1 class is going to be page header. And that's going to say photos. Alright, now we're going to put our photos in a UL. Alright, and let's give this UL a class. We're going to be using quite a bit of attributes here because we want to be able to, when it opens up in the modal, we want it to have a title and a description. Alright, so let's give this a class of photos, and also for the plugin we need to have a class called gallery parent. Okay, and then we'll have our list items. Alright, and before we go and add all our attributes and things like that, I just want to get the actual images in here. Okay, so source is going to be img, and then sample 1, I'm pretty sure JPEG. And let's just see if that works. Where are we? Photos. Alright, so it's getting the first sample image. Obviously it's not going to stay like this. We still have to add our styles and stuff. So I'm going to just copy that, and I believe there's 6 of them. Alright, so there's all our sample images. And before we go ahead and add the modal and things like that, let's do a little bit of styling. So we want to go to our style sheet, and let's go down to the bottom. We'll go right above the footer. Alright, and we can say photos. Photos itself should have zeroed out margin and padding. Alright, and then the list items. The list items, we want to take away the bullets, so list style none. We want to float to the left. We want a margin of 5 pixels, and we want a width of 23%. Okay, and that'll give us 4 images per line, I believe. Alright, and we're not using 25% because we have to make room for the margin as well. And then what we're going to do is the photos, the images themselves, we're going to set the width to 100%. Okay, so the list items are set to 23%, and the photos in the list item is going to be set to 100%. Alright, so save and then reload, and we have a nice little gallery display. We also want to add the class of image thumbnail to these images. So we'll give them a class. Okay, this is a Bootstrap class. And this should just give us some borders. Yeah, so that looks better. Now for the modal, if we go to getbootstrap.com and you want to go to JavaScript and then Modal, and just some examples. Okay, launch demo Modal. So basically this is what it does. It gives you a little pop-up. Alright, and you basically put any content you want. You can put text, images, buttons, forms, whatever, images. I think I just said that. Videos. Alright, so it gives you the code to do so. Now we're going to be using a plugin for this, a JavaScript jQuery plugin. So we're not actually going to use this code because it's actually embedded in the plugin itself. But just take a look at it. This is just how to just use a standard modal. But again, we're using a plugin so that we can use it as an image gallery basically, or a lightbox. So to implement the plugin, we want to grab the JavaScript file you can click on this GitHub link, and then you want to just download the zip. Okay, and if we open that up, you have inside of this dist folder, what you want is this echo lightbox.js and also the echo lightbox.css. Okay, so we're going to open up our project folder, and in the JS JavaScript folder we're just going to bring this over. Alright, and same thing with the CSS. You want to bring this over. Feel free to use the minified version as well if you want. Alright, now we have to link these files to our photos page. So first, the CSS, we're going to go to the head area, and I'm just going to copy this. And we just want to put the name of the CSS file, which is echo lightbox. Alright, and then the JavaScript is going to go at the bottom. So I'm going to copy this. Make sure you put it under the Bootstrap. Echo Lightbox JS, I think that's what it's called. Let's just make sure, yep. Alright, so we'll save that, and nothing will happen yet. I just want to make sure. I'm going to go ahead and hit F12 for the Chrome tools just to make sure we have no errors here. Okay, so just to make sure that the JavaScript file is actually being included. Alright, so if we go to the plugin page and we look at the usage, okay, basically we're going to do this using data attributes. So you can use data toggle, and you want to use lightbox for the data toggle attribute. And then you have options that you can use. We're going to use the gallery option, so that we can, when the model opens, we can click on some arrow buttons and it will actually scroll through the images. Alright, and we're going to also use, I don't think it's here, but we're going to also use title and description attributes, so we can add that to each image as well. But in order to do this, you need to add this code to your page. So I'm just going to copy this, and we want to just paste this in the footer, not in the footer, but at the bottom of the photos.html page. We're going to put it, yeah, at the very bottom, and it needs to go in script tags.